Hey, what's up? It's Amelia Mosley here with a BTN News update for Wednesday, the 15th of May. First up, you'll probably recognise this voice, right? Yeah, that's because Ariana Grande is one of the biggest pop stars on the planet right now, and we hear her voice and see her picture pretty much everywhere. But now the singer's being sued for a pretty weird reason, posting photos of herself. Ariana put up a couple of snaps on Insta of her just doing her thing, wandering around, looking fabulous and fashionable. But the trouble is the photos were taken by paparazzi, and that, paparazzo is now suing her for copyright infringement. Like, what? You see, even though the photo was taken without her knowledge and then sold to someone else in true paparazzi style, the photo might still technically belong to the person who took it under copyright law. And it seems that the pop sensation didn't seek permission before posting it to her 154 million Insta followers. Now the owner wants $36,000 for each photo. Yikes! Ariana Grande hasn't responded to the lawsuit yet, and I have no idea what will happen. But one thing's for sure, we should all be careful about what we post, apparently even if you're the person in the actual pic. Is there anything in the world more frustrating than technical issues? When you just want to take your computer and throw it out of an 8th-story window and then drive your car over it so no piece of the infuriating little thing can even be recovered? Well, imagine how some students and teachers and administrators are feeling right now after some of the online NAPLAN tests were glitching this week. Around half of Aussie schools have swapped pen and paper for the digital version of NAPLAN this year, but many of them are having trouble with things like logging in and bad connections. It's been pretty stressful for everyone involved, so now schools in Victoria are being told to switch back to good old reliable pen and paper, while some other states are still working out what to do. Oh, and good luck if you're one of the kids taking the test this year. Remember, don't stress, just do your best. Oh, and keep your computer away from Windows. I talked a bit yesterday about the moon landing and moon rocks. Well, turns out I just can't get enough of everyone's favourite astronomical body. The news today is that in the next few years, we could be hearing about the first woman to set foot on the moon. NASA's just announced a big plan called Project Artemis, which aims to send a female astronaut on a lunar mission within the next 5 years. Artemis is named after the Greek goddess, twin sister of Apollo, which is what the original moon missions were called. It'll be the first time a human has set foot on the moon in nearly 50 years. The new lunar mission will put the first woman and the next man on the south side of the moon, where they'll test different technologies and strategies that we could one day use on Mars. But a trip to the moon and back isn't cheap, so US President Donald Trump says he wants to give NASA another $1.6 billion to make it happen. It's Eurovision time, and that means some questionable costumes, crazy dance moves, and lots of kitsch. The competition kicked off in Tel Aviv in Israel, and Australia's entry, Kate Miller-Heidke, hit the high notes while swaying through the air on a bendy pole in a long princessy dress and a star crown. Whew, wild, I know. And it's clearly working for her because, spoiler alert, she's been selected to continue on to the grand finals. You might be wondering now why Australia is competing in a European song contest? Well, it's a good question, and I've got the answers. The Land Down Under first took part in the comp in 2015 when the European Broadcasting Union invited us over as a one-off wildcard entry. We put forward singer Guy Sebastian, but Euroviz organisers have kindly invited us back every year since. This one marks the 64th Eurovision Song Contest, and of course there are plenty of weird and wonderful performances to come. The next semi-final will be tomorrow before the grand final this weekend. And finally, who doesn't love a good strange discovery story? This one's about a family in Bendigo in Victoria that quite literally stumbled across a fortune while walking their dog. Two sisters and their dad were just wandering along when one of the girls kicked something hard on the ground. What they thought was a rock actually turned out to be a real gold nugget. Experts have analysed the piece of gold, which weighs 624 grams, roughly the same weight as a basketball. They say it's worth at least $35,000. For their sake, I hope finders keepers rules apply here. And on that lovely little nugget of news, I'm out. But don't worry, I'll be back with more for you tomorrow. Speak to you then.